My name's Josh Fisher. I'm a flight instructor at Ohio State University at the airport here at Ohio State, and I've been teaching for, if you count some of the stuff I did before I got hired, about a year now. And I've been a flight instructor for the airport since September, so it's going on, going close to 9, 10 months.
Brice Todd Lott, 30, and through 3 of my clients, they all went through it last year, and then they told me how awesome it was and amazing, and if you had the knowledge and you could do it. So I always wanted to fly, so I thought it was a great opportunity to apply, and luckily I got in.
So, as you mentioned, yeah, my student, Brice, I've been working with Brice since they arrived at Ohio State, I believe back in May, so about the second week of May. And we hit the ground running right away, and it was actually really cool because I was seeing Brice, and I was even seeing Chris, but mostly just flying with Brice about twice a day. And it was probably one of the more fast-paced training environments I ever have worked in, and I had to sort of an adjustment. Kind of felt like day one of flight instructing all over again.
No, in the sense of you come here thinking it's going to be like Disneyland, but it's like boot camp, and which is fine. If you don't go through that process, you don't have the knowledge to actually succeed in this. So there's a reason why it's as hard as it is, but it's a fantastic program in the sense of you learn some great knowledge, and if you can take that anywhere you want to go with it after. So I'm very pleased with the program.
Awesome. Alright, and then I'll just close the canopy. Are at 10. So your fuel pump is on. Bombs are set, and put it to tower 118.8. 18.8. Switch it over. Power, and let's go. Tower Scott 40, Tower Scott 40, State Tower Scott 44 is holding short 271 ready for departure. State Tower, this is Scott 44, holding short 27 left, ready for departure.
Charlotte 44 State Tower, make left traffic, runway 27 left. Runway 27 left, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 27 left, cleared for takeoff, making left traffic, Scott 44.
And so it was a new experience to learn with a student who has that challenge. The most incredible thing I learned, though, in that process was that Brice, you just let him go, and he'll figure it out.
Right back there, just think about that. Downwind. Crosswind. Crosswind, next step is a downwind. I'm on the downwind. Speed down.
State Tower, start 8, wind shore 27 left, ready for departure. Start 8, State Tower, turn on course, runway 27 left, clear for takeoff. On course 27 left, clear for takeoff, Scarlet 8. Charlotte 44, Aero traffic departing, runway 27 left will be no factor for you. Runway 27 left, cleared for touch and go.
Runway 27 left, cleared for touch and go, Scala 44.
I mean, I was there to teach him how to fly an airplane just like I would teach any other student how to fly an airplane. That's really all I had to adjust. Otherwise, I was just teaching him how to fly. And any challenges that he encountered, he didn't need my help. He's a very good at adapting to any situation or any challenge.
All right, though. We know how to land and high. Relax, relax. Got this. Go crosswind ain't shit. Come on. Laps to 10. Do this.
I felt excited. You know, I was relieved. It was a great day. It was a good day.
Launching for 1,200 feet. Feet is that sweet spot, that crosswind. Enjoy the ride. 1,200 feet, flaps up, looks like we feel pump off. We're looking for 14 to turn on the crosswind. Almost there, we're looking good. Crosswind. Crosswind. Rising, keep rising. Get up to 1,900 feet. Now we're on the crosswind. Give ourselves a little cushion.
Yeah, as soon as I get home, I'm going to complete my private, and then I'm going to get IFR. And then let's see how time goes, because at home I have things we're trying to do as well.
Sure.
So I'd like to go as high as I can go.
Now turning on the cross, turning downwind. Little wind there. Nothing shaking us. We're good, we're looking nice. We're almost to midfield. Midfield's where we report. Scarlet 44 is midfield.
Charlotte 44, runway 27 left, cleared for touch and go.
Cleared for touch and go, 27 left, Scarlet 44. That drop. Start the drop. There we go. There we go. Now we're descending. Watch that airspeed. Oh, we get a little more flaps in there. So it helps us drop. Also helps us get that airspeed together. Earn the base. You gotta earn that base. Let's make sure it's perfect. 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 Turn the base. Oh. Go down a little more. Let's get down to 2,500. Let's put full flaps in. 500 full flaps. We're descending. Watching that airspeed. Gotta watch that airspeed. Yeah, I'm jumping around, you're not nervous. Alright, we're going to idle because we're way too high. Yeah, full flaps. Gotta give it a little power. Make sure we get over there, watching that airspeed. Focus on that airspeed. We can kill it because we know we have it made. Now, make sure we look at that airspeed. Not let that airspeed get away from us. Now we're looking low, we're looking nice. Now we start to flare. Come on, baby, touch. Touch. Little hoppage there, a little hop. Flaps 10.
Crowd 84, state ground, runway 27 left, taxi V Alpha.
But these will be, an able flight student will be the best student you'll ever, I mean, I can safely say that Brice has been one of, if not the best students I've ever had, because he's very, very dedicated. I mean, granted, he is here just for this. He's out of his hometown. He's here in Columbus, Ohio, just for able flight. But he's extraordinarily dedicated, and I heard that from instructors in previous able flight programs that like Purdue, for example. I heard the same thing from those instructors. These will be your best students, and it's 100% true. They work very, very hard, always come prepared, always studying. When I get a text message that says, "Hey, Fish, I was just studying, airspace or something on a Friday night at 10 o'clock," I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool. I don't get that from my normal students. So.
Crosswind. Ooh. A little vertical there, a little vertical, a little too vertical.
What would it be?
I don't know. I'd have to say the day where when we landed and I didn't say anything, but Brice was just like, that was fun. And that's what I tell him all the time, because sometimes he puts himself under a lot of pressure sometimes, which is understandable. A lot of students do. But I told him, like, if you're putting yourself under so much pressure and you're not trying to have fun while you're out there learning, then you're really missing out on the whole fun part of the process. So when we landed one day and he just said, that was a lot of fun, I was like, that's what we're going for. That's what I wanted to hear. It's like, yeah, I want you to learn, I want you to be a good, safe pilot, but I want you to have fun, because that's why we're lucky that we're pilots, because we actually do something that's enjoyable and a good time. So.
I would say that you need to make sure that you have the time to put in, because you are here for 8 weeks, and when they say 6 weeks, they're saying that with perfect weather. So I would just, if I was me to do it again, I would tell myself, schedule for 8 weeks, and be ready to sit some days, because the weather's not always great, and that's a fact in aviation. So you have to, those are good days though, those are study days. Those are days you can become much better at the things you need to work on. And the FAA test, that you need to study for that. That's not that you just walk in there and think you're gonna know everything. I thought I knew everything when I went in there. I didn't know everything. I still missed a couple problems. I did very well, but I put in the time, but I was still mad at myself because I didn't get perfection.
Hold it right here, let's hold it.
Chart 44, runway 27 left, cleared to land.
Clear to land, 27 left, Scarlet 44. Some flaps in there. Go down a little further. A little turbulence, a little bit of turbulence. We're gonna start dropping though. Get down. Spasms. Turning on the base. My turn for base, watching my airspeed. Extremely important. We can go full flaps now. We are dropping. We're dropping. Get down to 2,500 RPM. Full flap. So right now, biggest focus is airspeed and dropping at altitude. Start making our turn for final. Yet still watching our
challenge. The study, I guess, is not, but that's not the most hardest part. Maybe the fear of getting the aircraft alone, but then that's not that scary anymore either. Probably for me, the hardest part is just deal with the. You know, I'm not a big. I sound like I'm an outgoing person and I'm a people person, but truly, I'm a very introvert. Like I enjoy my space, I enjoy being by myself, and I've always been that way. And if you look at the things I do in my life, I do things on my own. Sports I do on my own. So it's hard for me every day to like have to like just
be around other
people,
yeah.
and you have to rely on other people, which is my instructor, which is fine. But in my life, I've chosen a path in my life, a career. Everything was by myself because I always felt like, I'm just that kind of person. I'm happier in my own space, and that's probably like the difficult portion of this thing. You just have to become, be nice and be pleasant every day.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a different thing. That people probably don't say that's the hardest thing, but for me, it's this one. I can study and I'll fly, but that part, just having learned how to cope with other people is different for me.
idle it. Definitely have it made. Flaps up, auxiliary fuel pump on, or fan on, fuel pump off, flaps up.
I think the airplane is a great learning tool, but as I'm in the air and I'm flying and I see more and more aircraft laughing at me, I mean basically waiting for me in the traffic pattern, it makes me want to step into something faster.
Sure.
This is a phenomenal airplane to learn in. It teaches you how to be a better pilot because you have to fly the plane the wind plays a huge factor in this airplane. Adjusting for crosswind when landing is not just you might want to do it this time, you have to do it every time, and if you don't, you might get blown over, and it's a fact. So it's a great airplane for this program and for learning in general, and for fun if you just want to go have a fun airplane.
Charlotte 4-4, congratulations, Delta Alpha to parking, and monitor ground point 7 as you go. Have a good night.
Delta to Alpha to parking, monitoring ground. Nerve-wracking.